Cookie Monster. Calm down.
All right. What is good? We are live coming at you from Charleston, South Carolina and Arkansas.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
So, how we doing, boys? How we feeling?
Man, like I said, they're all good days on this side of the dirt, but some of them are for sure better than others.
That is true. That is true. It's very nice here in Charleston right now, so that was nice. Spent a weekend in the mountains. It was cold, so it's nice to come back to warm weather. What up, Grayson? How you doing? Good to see you. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. We got Combine on the way here in a week or two, and then we got free agents a week or two after that. So the NFL calendar just continues to dominate everything. Some fun Olympic stuff. That was a good time in the mountains having the Olympics on.
Y'all were watching the Olympics?
Got to.
You're snowing, watching people. I mean, you're skiing in the snow, and you watch people ski in the snow.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm about to go try that shit.
It's a great thing to have on in the background. You know,
don't try it.
No. Just the last thing you need to do, Chev, is bounce off a tree right now, going about 30 on some skates.
Buddy, look, listen. All right, that didn't come with my factory programming. You ain't got to worry about that.
No,
you ain't got to worry about that. I promise you.
Yeah, I hit the slopes for the first time in a minute. It was good. It was fun. Wasn't even really too sore, so that was good. Good start to the, I guess I would say, comeback of snowboarding for me, but that's probably only going to happen once a year. So
got a couple of the trips planned already.
It used to be a daily event. Well, we do have nonstops from here to Vermont, so I might be doing that a few times potentially in the near future. We shall see, though. So
peel your mountain man.
Sure. All right, boys. Well, we got some Patreon questions we're going to start off with. Then we're going to just kind of go through some of the website stuff, do some dynasty value checks, talk about some free agents, anything you guys want to talk about in the comments. Feel free to hit us up, ask some questions. Our first question coming from Johnny Unk. He says, a very likely 27-101 and a 26-205 for CD Lamb. I'm coming out of a rebuild, but the 101 isn't my pick, and I'm a mid-tier team for 26. So presuming 27-101, which isn't his, and a 26-205 or CD Lamb.
I mean, it's probably CD Lamb. Like, that's get it done, get CD Lamb, and you're assuming it's 101. What if it's 103, 104? The 101 screams, Arch Manning, or if Sellers has a big come up this year, we're all going to be drooling over him, all that stuff. I mean, there's some studs out there in 2027 for sure, but it's hard to pass up on CD Lamb's a stud. His head's in the right spot. He's not even George Pickens. Might not go out. He's definitely not even in the off the reservation category, right?
Right.
Rashee Rice drama in the streets right now. Like, CD Lamb is safe stud. It's hard to beat.
What do you think, Chef?
That's Jeremiah Smith. So it's Arch Manning or Jeremiah Smith. So you're saying Arch Manning plus the 205 or Jeremiah Smith and the 205. There's a bunch of sick individuals that are already saying that, like, I would rather have Justin Jefferson. I'd rather have Jeremiah Smith and Devy than Justin Jefferson and all this other weird stuff. So, like, the safest thing to do is just to bank CD Lamb. But by that point, CD Lamb's going to be in that weird range where it's like, well, he's only got a couple more good years left. And I mean, the age apex for receivers, he'll be 28 years old in 2027 and blah, 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 blah. So go CD Lamb, but you're giving up Jeremiah Smith or Arch Manning and whoever's at the 205, which is probably going to be a really good player too.
If Arch Manning has a come up this year, he's easily, he could easily
right now today, Like if he were in this class, he would be the first quarterback drafted. He's
Right,
going
and
to
that's
be the
all.
first
That's on a quote unquote didn't meet expectations type season because the expectations were unrealistic. But I guess Jeremiah Smith is a great name drop for that question. The problem is, recency bias being, Marvin Harrison Jr. was Jeremiah Smith 2 years ago, and that's
the point.
That could be still more than fantastic. Swap the names out as neighbors. He's still a first round draft pick. The problem is CeeDee Lamb, and CeeDee Lamb's what? Early second round sometimes. You can see Lamb's in the second round now just because the quarterbacks are up there and a couple of younger receivers. You're not wrong, Chef. You're throwing the clock back 5 years to Jeremiah Smith. It's just that nobody's giving you CeeDee Lamb for Marvin Harrison Jr. right now, and he's 3 years younger. You know? So if it doesn't come out and pop, which it could be the best thing ever, but CeeDee Lamb's a stud, and we know that. And
Absolutely.
Martin Harrison Jr. is probably a stud too. It's just, that rookie fever, that new shiny object, as soon as it's not what you want it to be, it's that dramatic drop. And Jeremiah Smith might be the best thing to ever step on a pro field, and it might be a nice little mix of all the best players you want him to be. But we know CeeDee Lamb's a monster.
Yeah, right now, if we're looking at the FFDynasty.com, CeeDee Lamb's at 23 in the Superflex tight end premium crowdsource rankings, and 2027 early first is at 26. And it looks like CeeDee Lamb over the last few days has taken a bit of a dip. He's down 7 spots, right? He was up, inside that, middle of the second round kind of situation, like Big Co's talking about. And then you can already see the 26 or the 27 early first is just got a ton of juice, right? And rightfully so. And here's Jeremiah Love because there's a name attached to it now. We know how good he is and it's consensus, and he's already at 19, right? And continuing to trend up 5 right now, right? From kind of where he's been. That's what's going to happen with the next group of guys, especially once we can apply names to it. But the problem being here is, that you don't know that it's the 101.
Mm-hmm.
You're presuming, and that's the problem, right? Mm-hmm. And if you could just say for sure I'm locking in the 101, like you said, Big Co, that could easily end up being the 104. Now I don't know what the roster looks like because it's not in front of me. It could just be like, hey, this roster is so bad that they can't barely field a starting roster, and it's 1-1-1-2 at worst.
You don't see that often, but yes, even the 1-1 for sure. Like all of a sudden, Brock Bowers gets hurt, Michael Mayer's in there scoring 20 points a week, and now all of a sudden it's the 102 and not the 101. Like that could be a big difference. But if it's Arch and Jeremiah Love, I think the top 2 is pretty dang safe in value. You know?
And we're seeing the 27 first already be. And again, me and Chev just did a Patreon last night and talked about it a little bit, and like somebody was talking about swapping 26 for 27s and the later side of things, and there was another question attached to it. But basically, like, we know that 27 already, for the most part, is going to be really good just because the amount of quarterbacks that are in it, right? So that's just going to boost up. And, it maybe looks like Chambliss might even be adding his name to that mix, potentially, right? So like as soon as the that's what's drying up the panties for this year, is that there's one quarterback that anybody is interested. You know what I mean? Once you can spread 6 quarterbacks out through a round, well, now there's a lot of different angles and views that you can take on things, and it pushes so much talent down. And, that's just what 27 is going to bring. That's why people are fired up. You've got guys like Arch Manning, you've got guys like Jeremiah Smith already, but, we talked about it last night. Jeremiah Smith could come out here and have a hammy and miss some time. And then all of a sudden people are like, well, he had a bad spot here and he didn't start strong, and then he had a hammy. Maybe he's not the guy we thought. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's a really good player. And same, Arch comes out and struggles. 101 still going to be, the position's still going to be really strong, but like things can happen. This 27 class could dry up a little bit too. It could be not quite as strong.
Right.
Potentially. It probably won't be. It seems like it's going to be good, but there's a lot more money floating around in college. But again, for me, it's if we were in 27 and you were talking about the 101, then yes, I would do that deal. Right now, it's really hard to say for sure lock that in, but I could see you as a value hunter. He's saying he's coming out of a rebuild. If you've got a pretty strong team moving forward and CeeDee Lamb can get you in position to win money for the next 2 or 3 years, I don't have any problem with that. Because at the end of the day, I think we lose sight of sometimes of gathering value and the potential to win. And it's about being honest with yourself of saying, hey, no, this roster is really good. Anything can happen. But hey, I came out of a rebuild and now I'm ready to roll for the next 3-4 years. And if I add CeeDee Lamb to this team, yeah, in the long run, maybe that 101 to 103 value is going to be better and could have really helped my team. But I could already start cashing for the next couple of years. And that 101 player is not guaranteed to be good. The value of it's going to be stellar. So you know, that's more of what I'm taking from it, right? If you're value hunting and you want to just play it safe and you're in a rebuild, but you're not quite ready, you know, is probably a solid move in the long run to play the long game. So I think there's 2 good ways to look at it. And it's also like, you know, you haven't been able to get a guy like CeeDee Lamb for this cheap in a while.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean,
well, like you go ahead, Chef.
I mean, here's the thing. There's nothing stopping, you know, CeeDee Lamb from putting up another 14 or 1,500 yard season if he plays all the games and he's healthy. You know, even with George Pickens there, like they could both go over 1,300 yards, or George Pickens can take a step back, which is what we all kind of thought he was going to be, the more T. Higgins, and then he stepped into. I mean, he got hot and they rode the hot hand, but yeah, CeeDee Lamb's got plenty of time left. It's just the value on that 101. Once football stops happening, again, people are going to start saying stuff like, yeah, I wouldn't trade the 101 for CeeDee Lamb or whatever the case may be. So, I mean, I'm with you. Like it's the safe, you know, that you're going to get, at least you're going to maintain value and not tank out or have to wait and pray for a rebound like we are with Marv in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Brad says the team getting Lamb is instantly getting a little better. Plus, you don't have to worry about that team scratching and clawing to not be the 101 since they don't have their first.
That's a good point.
There's a lot of things that you can't control on the other side of that trade. You know.
Yeah, that's true. Well, last thing I'll say about it, like I just pulled up the latest mock that I was in, and that was, you know, it was done 3 weeks ago. I know you guys are in some current mocks I'm not in. CeeDee Lamb went 2-4, right, which puts him 12, 13, 14, the 15th player taken in this draft. Your rankings just now showed him at 22, 23, something like that. But there's a lot. I mean, that's, you know, we talk about it all the time. You know, there's more than 12 players that are worthy of going in the first round. That's why that first couple picks in the second round are so valuable. But like, you know, there he is at 2.8 in this one that Jay puts up on the screen. Like in the graphic that you just showed with your rankings, he was behind Genty and Achane and Drake London. But, you know, in this, you know, and behind Jeremiah Love, and he gets taken in front of Jeremiah Love and Drake London in that mock. You know, it's just like that he could be a lot farther away in the rankings from where he is currently on the website and the 2027 first on the website. They're within like 2 blocks. But like in reality, that 2027 first could get taken before CeeDee Lamb in a startup right now. Or CeeDee Lamb could go at the 2-1 turn. You know, it's like somebody took St. Brown at the 2-1. Anybody could take CeeDee Lamb at the 2-1 there. You know, this kind of like pick your poison, pick your fighter, whatever you guys were saying last year, right? So like, CeeDee's a stud. That's the, you know, 2026. He's good for 4 or 5 more years. Easy. He's going to be the lock for a top 5 wide receiver for the next half decade.
Yeah.
And that's where you are.
All right, let's keep it moving. What rookie pick would you pay for Malik Willis?
I'd pay up. That's my guy. I think I said the exact same thing 2 weeks on here when you said that. I'm paying up from Malik Willis.
I mean, what's that look like though? How high are you willing to
go? I mean, do I have to give you my late first for him? Can I give you a 2 and a 3? Can I put together a couple? You know, can I give you somebody that's just quite good enough to be in my second or third spot on the bench that would be right there for my starting lineup, and a 2 and a 3? Does it take a first, Chef? Does it take a first to get him?
I have Malik Willis on like 11 teams, and
You're welcome.
yeah. Oh, this was long before.
Come on now.
This was long. I haven't traded for him. I was like, oh, I found my tribe. Other people like Malik Willis. Like I was into Malik Willis because I played for the guy who coached him in college. So like we're doing the whole thank you. Like
you're welcome.
Yeah.
No, Malik Willis is a beast, man.
Somebody says 209 for Willis. I don't think that's getting it done.
No.
But I would do that for Willis. I think any second round pick right now for Willis is
that's a win.
Is a win.
That's a win. That's a win. It could fall on his face. I said this before. I think it's a perfect marriage with him and the Packers. And I mentioned that before the season started that he got just enough playing time 2 years ago for them to work to find some kinks and then have the offseason to work them out. And then for the coach for LaFleur to be like, all right, well, let me get this package of plays together. And I saw what Willis did. I saw what he didn't do. And let me kind of massage this playbook here for if Jordan Love gets hurt. And it played out exactly. Willis came in and he was firing on all cylinders. And it was amazing to see.
Yeah. I mean, he's good. The Titans never gave him a real opportunity. And you saw what happened the minute got into a function. I've led by Malik Willis, ended in a punt, was the beginning of 2024. It's been like fumble, no interceptions, but like fumbles, kneel downs, like turnover on downs. Yeah. That's the only his drive hasn't ended in an actual punt since the beginning of 2024.
He was moving the ball.
Crazy.
He was moving the ball.
And he hadn't thrown a pick in 2 years. Like he's good. Like you can look at him. Yeah, you see it.
He's good.
Yeah, I mean,
small sample size. Small sample size. Hey, right now he's the definition of small sample size. But we saw him. We saw him flash. Saw him flash last year, 2 years ago, and then this past season, he looked really good. Really, really good.
Yes, I think any second is fine. I think once you start getting into the first, it's probably slightly ambitious. But this is, it's hard to buy a quarterback without giving up a quarterback. And right now, if you're able to just do it for rookie picks, I think I've seen enough where I'm like, this could be good. Now he could go to an environment that screws all this up again. Where it's just
waiting on you to stop to say if he goes to the Jets now,
poverty, it's a poverty franchise and they can't get anything right, and they don't know how to do this, and right. So it's to me, it's we call them kind of lottery tickets, right? Right now, you're buying a $10-$20 scratch off to see if you can, win $150 or something, right?
Yeah, man. If I'm thinking while you're talking, in my lifetime, I've seen the Browns catch one season of Derek Anderson, right? I've seen the Jets catch half a season with Sanchez. The best quarterback that I've seen the Jets have in my lifetime is Ryan Fitzpatrick, right? Like, am I wrong? So, like, if Malik Willis can dodge those two franchises, I'm all in. I think you're right, Casey. If he goes to one of those two franchises that just have not figured it out ever for a quarterback, I don't want to see that happen for Malik Willis. Just stay away. Just don't sign with one of those two teams.
What's your final thoughts here, Chev?
I mean, I'm with it. I think that he's definitely due for a big time bag. And this just kind of follows the trend. Like what I will give you credit for is saying the reclamation project quarterbacks are what we need to be targeting at the end of benches. Just holding on, picking them in startups, holding on. Because those are guys that can really play, but the shift in the NFL from actually developing people to giving up way too fast gives us real buying opportunities where guys like him and Mac Jones and Sam Darnold and Geno Smith just give you some pop, and then you can unload them if you really don't believe in them. You know? So
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a great point.
Yeah. All right. Seeing a lot of different trades for 26, 108, 109, 110 picks. But the values are all over the place, as they probably should be before the NFL draft. Who are some of your favorite trade targets in that range, or would you just hold on to them until the draft, expecting them to increase in value? So basically, what's the right now kind of what do you see the going rates of 108, 109, and that 110 range of things? How are you guys viewing that, Chev? I think you probably have the best area to start with there.
Said 108, 109, 110.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping against hope that Emmett Johnson falls back that far.
Right.
Like,
what's the trade value of that pick?
It's still not crystallized yet. I'll feel a lot better about what that actual value is once we get to the combine. I think you can get rid of, like, I tried to pull a sneaky and get somebody to give me the 106 for a Rondé Gatson in a tight end premium league, just because I really want to. I got male pattern rookie horniness, and I wanted to make sure I got a share of Emmett Johnson, but that's not the thing to do, guys. It's not the thing to do. It got declined, by the way. So as bad as this class is, people aren't willing to take a Rondé Gatson for the 106 in a tight end premium league. So I don't have the. Let's do this. This is best.
So if we're looking at somebody like you said, here's Denzel Boston right here at 7.8.
Yeah, I mean, he's available in that range for sure. You're talking Denzel Boston, Jadarian Price, back into the first round, probably.
So, right. This, I think, could easily be a 7, 8, 9, 10 for, by the time we get there. There's some people steaming him up with bigger names, some people that really don't like him, right? And I think that's kind of where we're going to be at with 7 through 10 until, like you said, Chev, you get some combine data and some draft capital situations, and then people will feel either more comfortable or less comfortable with those situations. So he was asking, do you wait or do you kind of go now? It seems like, like if I could trade the 108 for RJ Harvey, would you guys be interested in that range of 8 to 10 for somebody like an RJ Harvey?
Yeah, give me Harvey.
I think that's the move. I mean, RJ Harvey was 19 points a game once J.K. Dobbins got hurt. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Ricky Pearsall?
For you, yes. For me, no.
I think for most people, that's probably too high for Ricky, but I firmly believe in what Ricky could do. Like the ETNs and the Jacobs of the world, would you trade? I think these all depend roster construction situations, right? On how you're moving forward with a contender, a rebuild, or a middling team, right? If you're a contender, I think trading that pick for one of those players is probably okay on like a 110 or something. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
Jonah Coleman's at 805 here. So Boston, Jonah Coleman, Jadarian Price is somewhere in the mix here. Sadiq is at 7.6. So that's kind of your range there of that 6, 7, 8 round where players are going. And obviously this is one mock. ADP should be together soon. But looking at these guys here, I don't know, take your picks of guys that you like and don't like here.
Omar
Cooper. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying Omar Cooper too. Like in that back end of the first range, I think he's for sure gonna climb up there. But yeah, go ahead, Co.
Well, like the Sadiq at 7.6 and these rookies right around here, Casey was just talking about, so like obviously we're going to have a lot of fun with the combine, and some people are going to rise up, some people will drop a little bit, and then after the NFL draft, there'll be a couple of rookies that stay in this range. There'll be a couple of rookies that get landing spots that we love, and they'll bump up 2 rounds, and there'll be a couple of rookies that got in spots we don't like, and they'll fall down 2 rounds. That's just it happens every year. As far like the 8 to 10 range that we were just talking about for those trades, like I'd probably take Ricky Pearsall over the 10, but 8 is so close. Like you got the top 3 receivers, you got the big time running back, and you got the quarterback. So there's your first 5. And if you want to call Sadiq 6, now all of a sudden, and then if you got Concepcion high up on your board, like you probably should, now you're at 7, right? And all it takes is one running back to the Chiefs, or obviously Jeremiah Love could go to the Chiefs, but if like Tom McShay's got a mock draft and Love doesn't make it to the Chiefs, right? So like Genty didn't make it to XYZ last year because the Raiders took him earlier than anybody really thought the running back was going to go. So like, but you could easily get to like 7, 8, 9, even before the NFL draft, and say these guys right here. And then it happens every year that, it was RJ Harvey last year, right? That one running back that lands in that one system, and now he's a middle of the first round draft pick. So, just this far out, if you're just kind of making some trades right now, I think that, that 1.7, 1.8, 1.9 range there's a pretty good difference right now in like guaranteed value after the draft. Anything can happen. We can have a couple bad landing spots, or we could have a couple of good landing spots. Feel like last year it was a bad landing spot after bad landing spot, and a couple people were aggravated, and and just never know how things are going to work out with the NFL draft. But that right now, I think I could see a pretty decent difference in just what I'm looking around and trying to catch up. I'm way far behind from like any of that actual rookie studying that y'all are, but just like where some of these things are going to line up and where their values are lining up, to me right now, it's like I could see pretty big difference between 1.8 and 1.10. So just kind of plant flag right now, mid-February, and say we need more information to build out that 1.8 spot. I think getting to 7, I think getting to 7 with a certain amount of value is pretty easy without the Jonah Coleman's in there.
I agree fully there with getting to that 7, and I think we're going to expand to getting to 10 pretty easy with once
we always do. I'm just that just right now.
What I'm you're looking at Shuck and Ward and Penix. Those guys. Maybe you're not into Penix anymore, but like those guys would be guys I'd be. Yeah, how can I figure out how to get into those guys from that pick, from that area, right? If I want to make a move like lower end first. Can I go trade for a quarterback there and get those guys? I don't think once you start climbing up much further than that, I don't know that you're going to get it done. I'd be looking for guys that were kind of like, what do I got to add to get Rome Odunze in that situation, right? That's kind of the way I'd be playing those situations kind of right now. I do think if you're in that, I think coming full circle with this conversation, I think if you're in that area, I think it is best to hold right now, because I think, as we get further into the process, like we said, those picks they're gonna fill out to 7, 8, 9 is gonna get a face and a name around there that I think becomes fairly consensus, and maybe somebody has them at 12 and somebody else has them at 9. But I think in general, we're gonna get a lot more comfortable. There's enough players now that are kind of saucy with the Boston and the Emmett Johnson and the Jadarian Price and the Jonah Coleman and
right.
Another tight end if it's
right.
Tight end
we take
premium,
those
right?
Exactly. Take those 7 that we talked about, and you let a Jonah Coleman land on the Cowboys, right?
You let Emmett Johnson have a great combine.
Yes, right. Emmett Johnson tears up a combine, and he got like the Cowboys is a good spot for a running back value to just skyrocket. Are they going to put it in? Are they going to put the capital and spend a second round pick on a running back? I don't know. But if
a tight end
like
goes
that,
blows the combine up and has a great RAS score, and then everyone starts getting after him and uncovering things and being like, oh my God, this guy's going to be awesome. Yeah, he's going to shoot up into that 10 range, right? Whether that's Stowers or whoever it may be. Mike Washington, somebody who recently just from the Senior Bowl got on radars. Now, if he goes to the combine, gets on more radars, all of a sudden it's going to be, he's RB2. Now Emmett Johnson's RB3 for people, or 4. And now we're starting to get somewhere. We're like, all right, now we're building out the base of we got a little bit more value on these picks.
It's just too early to make a definitive like, hey, I should give that pick up, or I'm gonna hold on to that pick because it's earmarked for XYZ. Like, I agree. We're literally 2 weeks away from kind of having that next. We've got 1 through 7, right, in this shitty class built out, right, and now we're working through 8 through 12 and the 2-1 and the 2-2. Like we put out the tiered rankings. You and Jeremiah did an amazing job with that, by the way. Sorry I couldn't be there, but
All good.
like we've got that built out, but that's going to move around and change. Like those names are going to move around and change quite a bit just because of the combine. Now, should it? I don't think so. But again, we've been saying the whole time, like, don't make your first is such valuable ammunition in negotiations. Like, let's not do that right now unless you know, hey, I'm going to get a stud because I'm a contender. I had this extra first round pick. It happened to be the one, the 1-8 or whatever. Then you can do something like that. But I wouldn't do it right now with your only first round pick.
Right. And you mentioned, hey, we got the 106, 107 stamped right now. And even if that changes, all that does for me is just then the 8, 9, 10 get even, so however you want to shake that up. Like if we go to the combine and somebody really moves up because they crush it or whatever, and now all of a sudden they're sitting at the 5 spot, that just means Sadiq or Casey Concepcion or whoever just slid back a little further, right? So either way, we're getting a bigger expansion of 1 through 10 or whatever. So I say hold. Long discussion there for that. 104 and Shaheed for Rashee Rice. I made this deal before the lawsuit news broke. I was pretty happy with it until the other shoe dropped. So hey, he just asked this question 3 hours ago, right?
Oh,
so that's obviously that's rough at the moment, but once again, we got to let I'm always going to let the process play out. We just went through this and it kind of went away for a minute, seemingly, and now it's back. Now it's all signs pointing to he's not a great person, but it also could be signs pointing to, hey, this one person did this. Well, now maybe I could do this and maybe I could get something out of doing this. Right. And I don't know which way it is. It doesn't look great for Rashee Rice. It's starting to look worse and worse. But typically when something happens and you get away with it and maybe you didn't actually do it, somebody else might come out of the woodwork and say, hey, he did that too, you know? And I'm not saying anybody's right or wrong here. I'm just saying this is a really difficult question to answer because I have absolutely no idea how the legalities and what's real and what isn't at this point.
For sure. Jay, can you put that mock back up for a second and scroll up where I can see the first round picks too? While Casey was talking right there, the Rashee Rice information. I'd probably rather have the 1-4 than Rashee Rice, unfortunately, but everything Casey said is true. That the first team right there, I can see the George Pickens, Brian Thomas, Odunze, Travis Etienne, Kincaid, and I assume he got Josh Allen. There's the 211, 312. I couldn't see right there. So he's got Josh Allen and Jackson Dart as quarterbacks. Con Lemon right now, let's just say, could have been Garrett Wilson, just to swap out a guy that I've seen play NFL football, but Lemon seems like he could be really good. I like that team build right there. It was just on the screen. I was like liking the Pickens Thomas Dome. I had to. Well, I like that.
I don't mind it either.
I like the Pickens, Brian Thomas, Roman Dunze, and then like the Kincaid value. You've already got all the fun draft picks, all the fun tight ends are gone, and Kincaid at 8-1. Saw a bunch of random Kincaid stats that keep popping up when people are like, oh, well, if you just hit yards per route run and you kind of drop it down with minimum attempts because he was hurt, yada, yada, yada. I mean, you could kind of shoehorn that thing any way you want, but Kincaid was hurt a lot. But whenever he came in there, there wasn't a wide receiver to scare you on the Bills, and he kept performing, right? And if you just zoomed out and look at some of his good games that he's had as a, 2-year player, I feel like most of the time we'd be losing our heads for tight ends that young playing that well with a good quarterback, but the Trey McBrides of the world and, Brock Bowers kind of takes some of the sizzle out of somebody that's been that good that fast, right? And he's not even a full-time player, which obviously is the only problem. If he wasn't hurt, just a little Dalton Kincaid value plug there.
Yeah. Jumping back to the Rashee Rice side of things, Chev, did you have anything to say on that? You certainly don't have to comment. We could just keep it moving because it's a very hard thing to.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't want to. I laughed, but I don't want anybody to think that we're making a joke out of what he's alleged to do. And if it is true, like, I hope he gets his comeuppance. But, again, it goes back to what we talked about, I think, a couple streams ago, where it's like, hey, man, when football stops happening, it's not going to feel good to have Rashee Rice on your roster. When there is no ball getting kicked off on Sundays, it is not going to feel good to have him on your roster because he's worth a fraction of what his production represents. And you've got to sit with that.
Yeah.
It sucks. So just from the fantasy angle of it, that's my stance.
Yeah. And I think, we can get off of this topic just because I don't like to talk about it a ton and I don't like to overreact a ton because nobody knows. But I think, and I use this example because it was the most recent one, is there were people saying that Judkin's career was over last year before we did anything. And now we hadn't heard a peep about any of it. And maybe some of it springs back up. Maybe he did it and got away with it. Maybe he didn't do anything. I have absolutely no idea. But unfortunately, in these situations, if you want to sell, by all means, go for it, man. But in these situations, 9.99 out of 10, I'm usually just sitting here chilling. That's typically how I approach it.
It was a good example of the Judkins situation. We just dealt with that, but it could obviously go the wrong way for Rashee Rice. And if it's warranted, throw away the key.
Absolutely. And that's, but we just don't know. And I think everybody just likes to get their jump to conclusion mat out and make a definitive stance because it just like anything right now, even us, even this thing that we do, to come out here and feel super confident in a stance is kind of crazy, right? You know, and that's all people do all day long, which is why our shows usually take a while longer to get through one guy because there's context to be had on a situation to give you, hey, here's a bunch of different facets and reasons why, how, and what this could play out in a bunch of different ways instead of, firmly being able, everybody just has to have their reaction and be so sure. And, it's fun to talk that way sometimes, but if we're talking that way, we either really, really, really feel strongly, which you'll notice that we don't ever have that much conviction on one guy. We might, when we're in a conversation and you're talking 1v1, everybody gets a little fired up, but dude, putting rankings out is so subjective. It moves so much. It moves, it's just, so I don't know, being so concrete in your values, I think is tough and decision-making processes is tough. Unless I almost think you're kind of a fool if you don't think that way.
Right.
So
I think I said the other day, maybe it was on Twitter. I was like, man, we should all be asking way more questions than making a lot of statements about these dudes right now. Regardless of how long you've known about him or you went to his christening as a kid because you like Debbie that much, you should be asking way more questions than you should be providing. You should be asking your own questions in the process. And we don't have a full picture of what's supposed to be going on. So being definitive about any of it is just kind of man, I feel like you ain't lived enough life to know that you don't have the answers yet.
That's exactly right, Chad. That's a great way to put a button on that. And
that is well said as well. Yeah. You ain't lived enough life to know that you don't know that shit right now.
You don't know nothing. And I'm not a fantasy expert. That's a ridiculous name. People I know will be like, you're the fantasy guy. I'm like, dude, I just happen to be in it a lot more than you guys are. That doesn't mean I have any of the answers.
Right.
I just happen to be at typically I could squeeze a little bit more value out of it. I know where the better value is a lot of the times.
Right.
Than not. And it might not be if you're playing with good people, it's not a big bunch of value.
Right.
It's little bits of value that you're trying to find. So anyhow, All right, let's jump back into this. Jason has been showing the website. If you have looked at the website or haven't checked it out yet, go to the FFDynasty.com. That's what we've been showing you for most of this stream right now. And we're going to, this is going to be a big part of what we do moving forward. There's lots of different parts and pieces of the website, as you've seen from Jason showing you. Make sure you go link your leagues up to it. And there's, we just added the power rankings feature. And we're going to be adding more to that, so you can go check out your league and how your power rankings sit there. But we also have the biggest gainers and biggest losers, which was one of the last things that Jason had out there. It looks, we have over the last 10 days, over the last month, over the last year, 3 days, right? So Emmett Johnson right now in Superflex PPR is sitting at the top of the biggest movers for Chev's Pleasure. Right there as the biggest mover over the last 10 days. And Travis Hunter, number 2.
Microphone.
Travis Hunter is number 2 in the biggest losers. Woody Marks, my guy, number 1. And I typically keep it on PPR. So when you switch over to there, it gives you a different list, but Travis Hunter remains at the top in that one. Obviously some news coming out there where, going to be a bit more of a package player. Pause. So, but Josh Downs is somebody who's down. Marvin Harris is somebody down. Alec Pierce here, and I've been seeing Marv and Josh Downs be down in the mocks that we're doing, so I can vouch for that for sure. Those are buys to me. If Pierce is down, sure. These are 10-day movers, and again, we're 236,000 swipes into this website, but it's really just a baby. Things are still being sorted out. Numbers are being sorted out. And these things are changing every day. People are figuring this thing out. So, Ricky Pearsall's down. Almost this entire down list right now is buys for me. Like, you got Alec Pierce. Surratt's a rookie, so that is what it is. Shador, Ricky Pearsall, Jalen McMillan, Ferguson. This is tight end premium. Concepcion is down in this one. Bucky Irving's down. So this will show you a good, idea, especially as we move forward and we have month to month, are shored up a little bit from like, hey, we started at a good starting point here. This thing's brand new. So the starting point maybe wasn't where it needed to be as far as where all these values were. So I think we're seeing different movement in the ups and downs, right?
Definitely.
So, but eventually this mover rankings will be a great tool to kind of examine, hey, here's 3 days, here's 10 days, here's a month of just being able to monitor. And you can also go to the player itself when we go in here and, let's get to.
Well, the 3 day will be like after the NFL draft. 3 days after the NFL draft will be huge. 3 days will be after the first NFL Sunday. Like the 3 day, 3 day will be awesome. Like when there's actual news going on. The 10-day and the 30-day is big time for,
Right. So when you're then at the crowdsource rankings and the movers, it doesn't look like you can quite look at it. But if you go to like Drake May, you can kind of go and then it'll kind of give you the graph of what his movement has been. Right. And then it'll kind of show you what's been happening. And you could see he was ranked 1 and then, the Super Bowl kind of hits and he goes down 2, 3, 2, 3. And so he's dropped a little bit since, you can see the day by day there of like, hey, he was pretty much rock solid at 2 or 1 for a while, then the Super Bowl hits and he goes down a player or 2, right? So that's kind of the point of this. We get you guys all involved. Matt says you're up in the mock. You have 20 minutes left, Chev.
Yep. I'm on it.
So, and then the big thing is, you can tap to rank on any setting. I'm a Superflex tight end premium kind of guy. And that's really how you do the crowdsource ranking. So you go to the tap to rank situation here and you can swipe. It'll just give you top 100 players and then it'll kind of mix in a bunch of different players in those ranges and then kind of move it all around of which guys you want, which guys you don't want, and it's basically Dynasty Tinder if you will, right? Here's Malik Neighbors or Puka Nacua. Somebody in the comments earlier commented he's trying to sell Malik Neighbors, but nobody wants to buy him. And because everybody knows he's completely done, he's never going to be the same, which is pretty crazy. Maybe he knows something that I don't know. But I mean, you're taking Puka here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
There's no wrong answer. There's both of them. Yeah, you're good.
Puka's PR hasn't been super great recently, but
Well, Puka's a monster. He's this year he was maybe the most fun wide receiver to watch.
right.
That's because neighbors wasn't even on the field. He had nothing to say about it, and he has who knows what's going on with him and the quarterback connection. Puka's got one of the best veteran live arm quarterbacks that we could put together in the last 5 years, and it seemed like was there a bigger non-story than Matt Stafford's back? Like my man went from, hey, he might barely play this year. We don't know what's going on. We don't know one hit, and this guy could be carted off the field, and he torched it and won the MVP.
Yeah.
What?
Bacchiotomy.
Yeah.
It cures all.
Got that red light.
I mean, he wasn't even out there. He wasn't even like looking goofy, like he was shot up with all these drugs every game. Like he was like, what? I don't know what happened in the off season. Like that was Puka's value. Puka dipped a couple spots, like you were breaking ties with Mount Stafford's back over Puka's value in a startup,
Yeah, certainly Devontae Adams.
Sure.
He said Luka, but he meant Puka's. Puka's bonehead score is trending up. That is accurate.
Somebody needs
to grab. Somebody needs to grab him and be like, "Yo, shut the fuck up."
Yeah. Yeah, one of the big Usos has got to get a hold of him and be like, "Look, son, you're about to cost yourself $20 or $30 million because you won't shut the fuck up. So let's just do that, please."
For sure. And you can see in the top corner here, we can see the swipes going up as we're talking. So that's always fun to see. On our side, we can swipe just on one player. That feature isn't ready for you guys yet. But we will eventually have it where you can just go in and swipe on one player to just do like kind of just straight up player comparisons on that. But Sean had a good comment here. He said, or Shane rather, he said some people are just more risk averse. So when things happen with a player like Rice, people will probably want to sell. There's value in the case and bottom drops out. Maybe not sold on the decision. So, Rashee Rice or Joe Burrow at this point, you're going to take Joe Burrow. You're going to take Lamar Jackson. You're going to take Justin Herbert, right? Early 28 first.
I mean,
Rashee Rice.
By
that point, if he goes to prison, he'll be out by then.
Sure. All right, Rashee Rice or Cam Scatterbo.
Right. Give me the Anglo-Saxon assassin.
Woo! I'm still
kidding.
taking Rashee. So you can kind of see the point of this. All right, this one's interesting now though, with some potential.
Oh, Jackson Dart.
The answer is Rashee Rice if there's no issues. I guess
it's Jackson Dart.
It's Jackson Dart because there's issues.
Because you're gonna be able to.
Okay.
Of course. I mean, if you could say the issue's gone and it never comes back up, like if there's never ever any issues, but like Chev said, it's like our fourth or fifth issue,
Bro,
yeah,
this is just the fourth or fifth issue in the NFL. Like this is a serial offender of offenses. If you I'm not gonna get into it like on camera because I don't like doing that about players.
That comment alone will tank his dynasty value, Chef.
So, but for me in my dynasty roster, I'm looking at Jackson Dart and I'm like, bro, I'm going to be able to get football stops happening. You're going to have some spreadsheet nerd come up with some stat that why Jackson Dart's a future QB1 overall. And I'm going to be able to get somebody's pants off in superflex.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't do that with Rashee Rice unless he's coming off of one of the games that he had last year.
Yeah, certainly not currently, right?
Did Chev just say that Rashee Rice is what we don't want to see happen to George Pickens? Crazy, like the Pickens value problem that I've been having for a while. Like Rashee Rice is in the middle of tanking his value here. Serial offender.
The difference is George Pickens does crazy stuff on the football field. He's not going to get suspended for that. He's not going to. Rashee Rice is doing things that are going to actively take him away from just freedom in general.
Yeah, maybe allegedly,
Yeah, maybe
which is
potentially possible.
playing with that dynasty equity on your teams for sure.
It's just, I mean, look, Pickens is about to get franchise tagged. We might have just seen the best season that we're going to see from Pickens. Like, could he get on a trajectory where he goes 3 straight 1,300-yard seasons? Maybe. I wouldn't bet on it just based on the volatility of his personality. What happened to Casey?
I mean, I think Pickett's. Yeah,
Casey didn't want to hear that shit about Pickens, huh?
he's coming back. He said, "I got to get out of here on this Pickens talk." But I think Pickens is. He's a lock for the big 2 or 3 seasons in a row. I mean, nobody's doubting that if he can just keep the antics on the field, like you said. I can deal with.
We've never. That's what I'm saying. Like,
throw your helmet, throw it.
My
in the
thing
crowd.
is,
I don't.
You're equating the two, and
Mhm.
one person is doing things that are very illegal, and one person just has emotional regulation issues on the field.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean it's a bummer.
Yeah.
It certainly is a bummer right now for the Rashee Rice situation. All right, getting back to a couple of clicks here, and then maybe we'll talk a little free agent stuff here. But Josh Jacobs or Javonte Williams, superflex tight end premium.
Jacobs.
Okay, of which Javonte is a free agent.
Indeed.
Jared Goff, CJ Stroud.
That better be Stroud, but that's
Here's
tough.
the deal.
Here's the deal.
Like, Jared Goff is the final boss of the CJ Strouds.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're hoping to get an outcome like we've had for Jared Goff for the last 3 years out of CJ Stroud, right?
Oh, preach.
Right?
But if we got it, he'd be 26, 25, 26, 27 in Goff, on those bad games where he can't outrun a 330-pound defensive lineman. It looks horrible, but he's been excellent. The Jared Goff hate. I started the Jared Goff hate. I started it. And it just has to end.
It does.
Has to end.
Well, that's what it's, and Stroud's starting to get into the range of Goff of people, like as soon as Goff went from being like, oh, okay, we can Goff's pretty good, but then as soon as Goff has any bad game or two, or whatever, it's like, Goff stinks. We don't want Goff, and it's like, and CJ Stroud's getting into that area, right, where he had built up some equity and some grace, and now it's turned down, it's tilting. Does he need a new place? Is he going to get traded? Is this I don't know. I think I got to go with Stroud still.
Well, let me go ahead.
It's where we were last year. It's where we were last year with Stroud, or 2 years ago with Stroud, and his age still. He's still like, we can't get that out of our mind about how good he was. But like if I had to pick one quarterback for my dynasty teams for the next 2 years, it's Goff, no doubt. And just there's so, like, you could call him safe, but like he's averaging the Lions have been in the top 5 scoring points 3 years in a row, and Jared Goff's been, obviously he doesn't run at all, but like his consistency, his points per game is wild, in a good way,
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, Jared Goff's the final boss of the CJ Strouds, but by the same token, like Casey's point, which is very astute. Well, you didn't say it, but I know what you're saying. Like, we're writing CJ Stroud off like he couldn't get a good play caller and then do the things that we're seeing Jared Goff do.
Right. Also, we just went, we didn't love what we saw from the play calling situation there this year, but he's also like, this was also should have been a worry coming in and it was for us of like, we don't know anything about what's about to happen from this. And he's never called plays before, so you're going to get one more run of that. And then, oh, by the way, you don't have a great offensive line to start with. That's a recipe for, a little bit of a disaster. Then again, we talked about this a while ago, but he got his bell rung and definitely was not the same for the back half of that season.
Correct.
Yeah,
All
and
of a sudden,
Stroud starts. Yeah, if he comes out and plays his first 3 games next year, or lights out, he's astronomically more valuable than Golf and Dynasty.
Yeah,
You know?
if Stroud moves to Minnesota, is it still Goff? And that's what we're. No, it's Stroud, right?
Great
Exactly.
question. Great question. And
That's
Casey's got
exactly
the
right.
answer. Yeah. Yeah.
So I guess we have to go Stroud.
Yeah,
But it's Golf. That's
but
it's golf.
But it's Goff though.
Yeah.
This guy says I got a 111 offer for AJ Barner. Got to take that. Yeah, go ahead and break that phone.
Yeah. I don't even that. What did I say? That's a taco trade?
Yeah, that's what.
Okay.
Yes. Would you swap Burrow for Tet and an early 27 first and a second superflex? Have Mahomes and Willis. So giving up Burrow for Tet and an early 27 first and second.
No.
Have Mahomes and Willis.
Probably.
Oh.
Tet's really, really good, and an early 27 first is going to be valuable as all heck. And the second would be right there with it.
I'm keeping Burrow.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
Yeah. Burrow.
I don't hate it.
The boss of the Jared Goffs.
The boss of the gym.
Yeah.
If you're sitting here saying I really need to upgrade the rest of my roster and these are the best keys to the castles that I have,
that's a good spread out, because I mean, if it was I'd have to see a list of wide receivers, but like Tet's up there on the short list of like extremely valuable players, right?
Correct.
And you're not getting that offer if it was St. Brown. They're not giving you St. Brown in an early first next year. It's Tet in an early first next year. But Tet if he didn't impress you on that Carolina offense right? You know what I mean? So in that early 27 first, I guess if you wanted to squeeze the context out of it, like if that's top 2, 3, like it's two good players for one. I mean, obviously if Burrow hadn't missed every, half the games in the last 3 years, then I don't think that would be a question. I don't think you're getting that. If Burrow was Josh Allen, that trade's not getting offered, right? Burrow's probably the best quarterback in the league when he's healthy. But when you have to say that at the end of the sentence, there's the little chink in the armor. And who knows? Maybe he gets a little bit of an offensive line upgrade and he missed 5 straight seasons. But
what he's really been saved by is Chase Brown. He has JSN, Rice, Wilson at wide receiver, so keeping Burrow is probably smart, but it's tempting. So he's that Rashee Rice right now is and he said, yeah, the injury history is what makes him even consider doing it. The Rashee Rice thing right now is the bummer in that situation, because if you're rolling into next season with Rice without an issue and JSN and Garrett Wilson, it is what it is, but good player, at least that. And if he can just have somebody who can throw the ball, we know he can average you like 15 points a game. That's what we got this year, right? As long as he was out there. So that you're looking good there. I probably would want to keep Burrow right now.
I don't blame you. I mean, it's hard to trade away a guy that
you could trade Malik Willis for another player potentially or something.
Yeah, I would much rather try to work a deal around maybe giving up Malik Willis and Rashee Rice to get like that first with Tetterow and McMillan back. But it depends on how concerned whoever you're dealing with is trying to, like, how concerned they are about Rashee Rice. Like if they're just non-issue,
yeah, then
you could probably get that done.
I mean, that's a really good trade that you came up with if it would work out. If you gave away, Malik Willis and Rashee Rice and you got back Ted in an early 27 first, you got to try to do that. But other than that, I'm not trying to trade away Malik Willis right now. I mean, I guess there is a picture somewhere that you could paint me to sell, and that's one of them. But it's going to have to be a sharp payday. It's not just like Jakrosky Merritt last year popped up, or the Woody Marks sell for a profit, or it's not that. It's a quarterback with legs.
Correct.
Right. So like it's if it works out, it only even has to be like average quarterback enough for him to stay and be a starter for 3 years to be great fantasy points. But if he was better than average, the fantasy points are going to be astronomical. My man had 20 fantasy points in the first quarter of the last game he played. You know, like if he can. That's why I keep talking about being in the Packers offense. If like they made easy throws for him, and I don't want to take. I'm not saying he can't not find that in pure progressions, you know. And if it's not, if it's a little bit of a crazy offensive coordinator situation that he ends up going to, I'm not saying he can't do it, but it was so good last year. And so with those legs and with throwing seam routes to Christian Watson and what could have been if Tucker Kraft was there, Malik Willis, if he's just average, his fantasy points are going to be top 5.
Yeah. Nate, he says he'd like to think all QBs have legs. That is correct.
No doubt. That's a good observation.
If we missed any questions up above, feel free to fire them back in there. But Tet's coming in at 22 Superflex tight end premium on the FFDynasty.com. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you go check it out. Everything we got's going on over there. Is over there. We've got, a trade database that's building. And so that's, it's one of the benefits of signing up. Link your leagues, you get the trade, you get the more and more, we're up to 3,000 trades in there. Then you can link your leagues and you can go in here. And then it'll kind of give you a power ranking right now of what's going on. So this is my team in this particular league. It gives you a little graph at the top of kind of where you're at with the receivers and all that. We got a bunch more stuff to add to this. We got roster reviews coming in soon. It kind of tells you your strengths and where you're at, gives you a contender, pretender, rebuilder, pleasurable, got you a little key down here. So, Big Co is in this league. He's a contender.
I won it last year. You won it this year, and I won it last year. My quarterbacks just fell off the map. All I had was Lamar, and he got hurt.
Yeah. So then it's going to give you some tradable assets, some strengths, some needs. So picks 9 of 12. So they want me to get some more picks here. So that's we're just constantly adding more and more features to this. So here's all the leagues that are linked to it for Sleeper. And then it's got, all of our stuff in here. Expert rankings are coming soon, as well as daily. And then after you do the crowdsource rankings, after 1,000 clicks, you get personal rankings, right? So this is going to give you your personal side of things. And if you've been listening, you already know about all this stuff, but it's important to kind of show everybody. And then again, like the mover rankings, and we have the daily comparisons as well. So each day you can come in here and make a comparison of an early 27 first or Jackson Dart.
Is this sick? Is this
Superflex
question.
PPR?
Yeah, Jackson Dart
Gives you all 4 formats.
Yeah.
You like Jackson Dart over the 27 early first?
Yeah.
I like that. If you told me, if it's 1-1 or 1-2, I could probably take the pick. But if it's not for sure the top 2, I could just take Dart and call it a day.
I mean, you never go broke taking a profit. Like that's a singular first for Jackson Dart in week 9 of last year would have been laughable.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Jackson Dart or Justin Jefferson?
Give me Jefferson.
Push.
Yeah, I mean, that really, truly, that's the answer. But like in a vacuum, with the quarterback value, man,
we've been talking about Malik Willis this whole time. Malik Willis goes to the Vikings, it's Justin Jefferson. Mac Jones goes to the Vikings, it's Justin Jefferson. A different quarterback goes to the Vikings that we think is semi-competent, it's Justin Jefferson, right?
Yeah, Hall of Famer. Well, you take out the what if Jackson Dart is just a scrambler part. And he's shown us to be more than that. And just one season, it started in the preseason and it stayed consistent. Couple of a Monday night or a Sunday night game where he was in the pocket, just wildly elusive in the pocket, getting out of trouble, like anticipatory throws. All those wide receivers got hurt except for Wandale. Like, just fantastic rookie year, all things considered, for Jackson Dart, right? So not just a scrambler. The scrambler is the icing on top. But if you take Justin Jefferson, you got a Hall of Fame wide receiver. I mean, he's one of the top 3 to ever play the game so far statistically. So like, you just take away the CJ Stroud second year slump that could come in for Jackson Dart, right? Like that's
oh shit, he does have Matt Nagy too.
You're taking that out.
Ooh, balls.
But then you're also living with Justin Jefferson's like potential problem at quarterback.
So they do have a serious problem. And I think I talked about it in one of our YouTube comments. But they've got the most expensive offensive line room, tight end room, running back room, like wide receiver room. They're all like top 5 in the most, and they're $40 million over the cap. Like they can restructure some of that, but like they might be like they did it thinking that JJ was the answer. And if he's not the answer, like, do they have the money to fix it immediately?
Yeah, I think you did that in a tweet, and it was a damn good one. You said they played it like they were a quarterback away, and they're still a quarterback away. That was sharp. And it still could be easily JJ, but right now it's not.
Yeah,
scary.
Mitch says that we got to fix the team position rankings per league. It says my league has number 1 tight end. If someone in my league has number 1 tight end, they have Tucker Kraft and a bunch of nobodies that have value. The value needs to be flat. I'm going to assume that's what he's saying.
I don't really. How would you like for us to fix it?
I mean, we just look into some weighting. So I mean, you can.
No, well, you can't fix it at the website guy. But thanks for that,
Well, yeah.
Mitch, to tell us.
Yeah,
I actually saw something that
I
when
said that
Casey
to say, hey, please give us all the feedback possible.
Yeah.
This thing is like a month old, and
we need that feedback. I saw when Casey was looking at maybe Jay was flipping through Casey's team in the Easton Superflex, and it looked like it had the 20 his 28 first more valuable than his 27 first. I mean, that's a kink. That's a little bit of a problem.
Oh, he answered me. We're solid, and you guys answered. Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
So
Like, okay.
Tucker Kraft or Brian Thomas? I'm taking Brian Thomas right now.
I'm
taking Tucker Kraft. I looked at Brian Thomas's age as I was about to say I got to take Tucker Kraft just in case.
Needs to flatten after tiers. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, we can certainly look into that. And I said all that just to say, please, you're not going to hurt my feelings with feedback. Some things I'm going to agree with. Some things I'm going to say, no, maybe.
I just have resting bitch face when I ask questions. I wasn't trying to be a dick about that.
Oh. Yeah. No. Yeah. It's all good.
You're just naturally a dick, right? It just comes out.
It just
you have to work to hide that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
There's plenty of things to work out on the website. It is, like I said, work in progress, and but it is functioning fairly well, and that's a very new tool.
Heck yeah. All right, boys, I got to jump out of here. That was awesome. Bo Nix over Kenneth Walker. I got to take Bo Nix.
Got to.
And oh boy, how much of a value is Jalen Hurts is about to be?
That's great.
And start both of these guys. This is St. Brown is a huge value in startups, and Jalen Hurts is huge value in startups.
Yeah.
If whatever one slide like that, if you catch those guys sliding, sick pickups.
Yeah,
I agree.
Amon-Ra St. Brown or Jalen Hurts.
I'm not gonna answer first. Co's a Lions fan. He's got to answer first.
It's Hurts because he's a quarterback. You trust me. You don't want to not have the quarterback. You got to take Hurts. But I heard somebody say St. Brown led the league in drops this year. Was that on the podcast? Did Jeremiah say that on the podcast? St. Brown led the league in drops this year, and last year he didn't have a single drop. He had 0 drops and 100 and something catches last year. And this past season, 2 years ago, no drops. This past year, supposedly led the league in drops and some big 4th down drops too. So
yeah,
crazy stuff. Anyway, I got to jump out of here. You guys enjoyed the heck out of this, and I'll see y'all next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Chev, what do you think? Amon-Ra St. Brown or Jalen Hurts?
Man. I was hoping that we just moved to the next one because he said Jalen.
It's a tough one, man. And I think Big Co said it, like the value of Hurts right now is outstanding because people are down on him. people are upset about tush push or this or that or whatever. And it's like that. I'm not terribly worried about that. Regardless of what they're doing, Hurts is going to be mobile and being able to score touchdowns with his legs. When they have a good coordinator, they're one of the best teams in the league. And when they don't, they're not. I don't, my vibe check on Jalen Hurts isn't the best. I don't necessarily love him. I think he's kind of a fake person. Kind of gives me a little bit better version of Russell Wilson a little bit.
Way different. Way better. He's not even close.
He's not in the media. He's not in the front of the media necessarily being a robot, but it's kind of a robot.
No, but he's chill like that. That's not him play like he's chill like that at all times.
But he's not.
That's why he's a good quarterback.
He's a coach's kid.
Yeah,
he's not Russell Wilson.
I don't. What I'm saying is I don't think the locker room loves him. Like I think there's probably it seems like the locker room it's not super cohesive on the quarterback position in Philadelphia. That I guess those are my parallels of Russell and Jalen being like he different way of going about it, but like kind of robotic in the press conference, which is whatever. I mean, that's kind of quarterbacks kind of should be, I guess.
I think the locker room was just fine with him when Kellen Moore was in town.
Yep.
Right? I don't know that it was. I think they were just winning. So then that fixes all the problems, right?
Well, that's the nature of the beast in Philadelphia, though.
No, absolutely. I'm just saying, like, and that's what it was with Russell Wilson too. Like, you didn't hear shit about anybody having a problem with Russell Wilson except for me. I was like, this guy's full of shit. There's no way anybody likes him. I think Jalen Hurts seems a lot more likable of a human being and doesn't seem like he's necessarily being fake. It's just something about the vibe where I'm like, that something seems just like a hair off. That there's definitely some phoniness going on there.
Yeah,
I disagree on.
Doesn't mean he can't be a good guy, like a good human being. I don't think Russell Wilson's a bad guy. I just think that people in the locker room vibe check sometimes a little.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Russell's terrible.
But nobody was saying Russell was terrible for a long time. I was standing in the corner by myself
because they kept it under wraps because they were winning.
Right. Exactly. Yes, I agree with you.
And that's the way that any of it works, though.
Right. Now, for the most part, yeah.
So I don't even know who their offensive coordinator is at this point. I thought is it Grizzard?
That's a good question. I'm drawing a blank.
I think it's Grizzard. If it's Grizzard, give me Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Take Hurts. But can't go wrong getting
Sean Mannion.
Beast.
I knew we didn't know something. There was something we don't know about him. Yeah, Sean Mannion.
Okay. Yeah, give me Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Okay.
Ugh. It doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel good at all.
Big Co had to stick around a little bit to defend this guy, Jalen Hurts.
Oh, of course.
Which I will defend him as a fantasy asset and a player, like value wise for sure. Just as
if we're talking esoteric stuff that we can't quantify, then sure. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I have my own personal, like I'm a little bit biased when it comes to Jalen Hurts in terms of like my own fandom of him.
Mm-hmm.
So like just keeping it to the fantasy thing, like I would want to go with Amon-Ra St. Brown just because the floor for a high-end QB1 for him is as low for any of those guys as it is for anybody. The ceiling is just as high with the tush push, but the floor is so bad. Like he killed people in the fantasy playoffs.
Sure. But he's also, won a lot of things for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And, that's more of a public issue of like, he had some bad, things were trending in the wrong direction for Philadelphia at the wrong time. Right.
Yes.
So that's kind of how I look at that. All right. Tucker Kraft or Kenneth Walker, tight end premium. I think you and I are both going Tucker Kraft, but this does pose a good question. We could spend a couple minutes here at the end of this stream. Let's look at some free agent situation. And Kenny Walker recently has come out that the Seahawks seemingly are for sale as a franchise, which is wild.
What?
Yeah.
I did not see this.
Yeah. And so we kind of did a free agent episode, and we got more free agent episodes in the hopper here coming. But is Kenny Walker a Seahawk? I don't know how he isn't, but it seems to me that it almost should be kind of sell high on Kenny Walker if you want to protect yourself. But what Kenny Walker could be is too tantalizing to me, and I can't do it because we just saw it. I don't know how you guys have been saying toothpaste tube. I think we just had it. How could we do it? How could you do it? Somebody's going to want him and pay him, and I don't know how it is in Seattle.
So one guy in the comments earlier was talking about how John Schneider's history, he's only used a franchise tag like twice. And it was on like Frank Clark and somebody else. And he didn't think that, he was like, yeah, I mean, it hasn't happened in his tenure hardly at all. I don't think that that's the direction he's going to move. So it seems like they're going to just tempt fate and let him go and then try to re-roll in the draft.
Yeah, which that doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, I mean, we did this thing last year like you were on the right side of history with the Vikings. And I was like, hey, they're going to let Sam Darnold walk.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, they shouldn't. And I was like, but I think they are.
Yeah.
And I think the Seahawks are going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks, man.
Yeah, I don't know though, man. I think if you kept Kubiak there, I think you could make a case for that. But I feel like now you're moving on to maybe something else that's unknown. I feel like there's a better chance of, I guess you could make that argument either direction for that situation. But like, I'd want a known commodity in the backfield.
Yes.
If with somebody moving on, especially with Sharps not being injured coming off the season, I think this makes it a little easier. But you could certainly put it this way. Maybe they don't want to pay him, and just because people don't have a history of doing something doesn't mean they won't. This is a little bit different of a situation than they've been poised. Name the last Seattle running back that you were excited about.
Yeah.
So who's the history of the running backs that Schneider hasn't paid? Marshawn Lynch was there for a while.
Yeah.
Was he the owner of that? I guess
before his neck.
Right.
And then Rolls-Royce Rawls, or whatever his name was. Thomas Rawls.
Was Royce Freeman there? Where was Royce Freeman?
That was Broncos.
Or no, Rashad Penny. Sorry,
Rashad Penny.
There was no reason to pay him.
Do you remember when? Was it our show or was it somebody else's show where somebody compared Ashton Genty to Rashad Penny?
I don't know. It wasn't me.
I know it wasn't you. I think we had
Sean Alexander.
Yeah. That's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, if the Seahawks keep or move on from Sharps, I think it's a Rico or a Algier type player for that Javonte contract, right? I think that's kind of how I would see that playing out. And then Sharps comes back at some point, and next year they can figure out what they want to do, right?
Yeah,
I think that's a smart money play for them if that's how they want to play the running back position.
Yeah, Jordan Schultz said that he thinks that they're going to try to re-roll in day 2 or day 3 of the draft at running back. Which again, I'm with you. That doesn't, if you're going to do that, then just pay Kenneth Walker slightly more than you would have paid him.
Yeah.
And keep him there. Because Sharps is on the last year of his deal this coming up.
Right.
So then you're re-rolling the whole Shalamabad.
The Shalamabad.
Yeah.
All right. What happens with Daniel Jones?
He's probably going to start when he's healthy. They're going to look at Anthony Richardson play football and be like, it's a competition between Riley Leonard and Anthony Richardson. And Anthony Richardson's going to win. And then we're going to remember why he doesn't play as much. Potentially, maybe, possibly. And then Daniel Jones will start again. But like, they've got to let him run it back.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. It's how do you structure the contract? What does it look like? But I don't think there's any way that the Colts can just let him walk out the door, unless you want to be like, hey, we're gonna do the same thing we just did with Daniel Jones with Malik Willis and see what happens.
Yeah,
and you let Jones roll out.
Oh, let's do that.
Yeah,
let's do that. I'm with that.
This is a guest Cody Carpentieri. Actually, I think we were on the show with Cody and Matt on Player Profiler, and Cody said that Genty was Rashad Penny.
Oh yes, and then I brought it up, and I was like, okay, I can understand why you said that. Just because I didn't want to call him a big dumb dipshit and like just get it off to a terrible start. So I was like, I understand why you're saying this. Small, same competition, same thing, but they're two totally different players.
Yeah. That was I don't love that. That's a stupid comparison. All right. Who would be the quarterback that you would say? I mean, this free agent class, and maybe this is maybe a broader question, and I definitely want to do a show on it because me and Big Co did one coming into last season late about a Mac Jones and about a Malik Willis, and those kind of worked out. And I'm just judging off the free agent class right now because there's other guys I would want to go down that rabbit hole with. But like, to me, if I look at all the free agents, not named the guys that we've kind of talked about with, Daniel Jones and potentially Malik Willis, the next reclamation project out of the free agents people seems to me to be Sam Howell. If you had to pick one out of just the free agent pool. Do you have any other players that would be the next reclamation project in this free agent pool of quarterbacks? He's the only one that seems to make some sense to me because a lot of these guys are, Hendon Hooker's never had a chance, really.
Not him.
But Hal has come out and played some reasonable football and then, was just in a bad situation. And it's like, all right, well, could there be an uptick in value? I don't know if he'll be the reclamation project that we've been seeing through some of these other quarterbacks, but could have a little bit of value when he gets to be free because he's in Philly right now.
Will Levis isn't a free agent this year.
No, and he would be somebody on that show for sure that it would be absolutely Will Levis.
Yeah.
1,000%.
That's the dude that I'm going around just trying to get thrown in trades right now.
I think that's, I love bringing that up. And I think it could be exactly the same as Malik Willis. Right.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this a few times on air, off air, but like we saw what like Cam Ward is head and shoulders a better quarterback than Will Levis, but we've seen what Cam Ward's numbers from a spreadsheet situation can look like. And it didn't matter really who was the quarterback there. Those numbers were never going to look good. The eye test says, hey, there's enough good. But there was some dumb shit with Levis, but there was some also good stuff with Levis there from game to game, right?
The tools are there. Again, he was a victim of the Caliban, so we can't legitimately give him a grade. It's like grading Mac Jones when Matt Patricia was a fucking offensive coordinator.
Right.
Like, what are we doing? In all seriousness, I apologize for cursing. I'm trying to stop cursing so much while we're on the thing, but like, it's just really dumb. So you can't form an opinion about a player when he's in an impossible situation.
Yeah.
But that's the one that jumped out to my, like, when you're reading those names, I was like, is he better? Like, I think Will Levis could be better than him. Like, there's a world where Will Levis plays the type of football that Daniel Jones played the first 10 games of last year.
I agree 1,000%. It just he's got the right person has to get a hold of him. I don't know if he'll be. I can't imagine. Will the Titans cut him, or will he hang around for another year?
We're gonna hang out. We're probably gonna hang out for another year, just because. I mean, it doesn't make sense to keep a guy. You got him under contract for a second round contract. Like, you could, you ride that out, because if something happens to Cam Ward and you've got this brain trust, and Will Levis, by all accounts, is a really hard worker, the right type of dude,
right,
in the locker room, right? So it doesn't make sense to trade him unless somebody's going to overpay.
Yeah. No, I agree. But he has been the one out of all of those that I go, all right, yeah. He's been at the top of the list of reclamation projects for sure. Not a free agent though. I think the Vikings should make a push for Garoppolo or Carr, neither long-term threaten JJ, but both can run that offense better. Yeah, I mean, if you want to roll down the cheap situation, but and this next guy says JJ needs a QB, referring to one Justin Jefferson and one JJ McCarthy. So,
Okay.
go ahead.
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson. I don't know if I've seen enough good there.
I haven't seen a lot of good, but it's been impossible situations also.
Yeah, I mean Miami was just there, and he got beat out by Ewers.
I mean Denver, right?
Yeah,
Miami, the Jets. Like, I think he could be serviceable, right?
Yeah. Nah, I don't love it.
I don't love it, but I
could smell it.
I'm trying. Okay. I'm trying to turn over a new leaf because there were a few things that made me more mad than when he got picked ahead of Justin Fields.
Yeah. I would say Sam Howell to the Vikings, but they traded him to the Eagles.
Exactly. Like
so I don't know. We shall see with that. All right, let's take one more pit stop here to tight ends, and then we'll wrap this one up.
Oh,
Wilson's mom is the biggest problem. Go ahead.
Did we talk about Trey Lance?
No, you can talk about Trey Lance for a second if you want, though.
That's the Temu version of Malik Willis.
Certainly.
We've seen him be like manageable.
Yeah, he could.
I can't give
in the right situation. He could game manage you through a game right now.
And he's been in quarterback rehab for some time, right? Dallas. So he's just been sitting and being able to learn. Like Mike McCarthy, good quarterback guy, right? Good quarterback developer, right? Jim Harbaugh, good quarterback developer. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. And it's the cheapest.
Yeah.
Right? It's the cheapest out of all the options.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, we just all right. Superflex Jamie Angel 3339 comes in here with a decent he's saying startup Superflex 3 flex need.
Am I reading that number right?
Yeah. I guess. I don't know what's going on here.
Is the cartel asking for fantasy advice? Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
What's happening right now?
I'm not really sure. I don't know what MX means.
That's crazy.
Mexican dollars, is that?
Yeah, that's what I was assuming. That's why I made the joke. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Fuck it. We're here. All right, let me lock in, bro. Let me take my phone off.
Startup Superflex 3 flex need 2 10. So he says 1450 pesos. Okay. All right. Cool. That makes me feel less encumbered. Corum. So basically he's at the one that he's in the 10th round. Has the 10th pick and the 11th pick in the 10th round. He's got Corum, Stevenson, Warren, or these are his options. Corum, Stevenson, Warren, Woody, Tootin, Benson. DJ Parker.
Let's assume that's Daniel Jones because we just talked about Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones, Parker Washington, maybe. Golden, Sutton, Wandell, Pittman, Pierce. My team is Lamar, Burrow, London, Ladd, BTJ, Marv, Devonta, RJ, and Kittle.
God damn. Okay.
So fun squad.
Very.
So you got no running backs right now, right? Or you just got RJ Harvey, I'm assuming.
Yeah, you just got RJ.
All right. So Corum and Stevenson are out in that conversation for me.
Correct.
If I'm taking a running back, it's Tootin or Benson.
It's Tootin for me.
So it's 3 flex. So you could
Also, DJ Moore, not Daniel Jones.
DJ Moore. Did he comment that? DJ Moore.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so DJ Moore. What's the first thing that hits you? Because when I look at it immediately, I say I could take a shot on Tootin and Benson. I don't mind taking the shot on Lamar.
Wait, Lamar's on his team.
Or sorry, I don't mind taking a shot on Wandale, Tootin, Benson were the first three that popped up to me.
Yeah, I mean, with the way the route, I would love to take a shot on Parker Washington right there, just based on how much.
Are we sure that's Parker Washington?
What other Parker do we have?
Yeah, at that point, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think. Do we have another? For real though, I'm not being facetious here. Do we have another Parker?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Devontae Parker has departed.
Okay. Yeah, he's gone to the great cement island in the sky. Okay, so my strongest lean is Tootin and Parker Washington with a sprinkle of Pierce there.
Do you see Pierce somewhere? Oh, Pierce at the bottom there. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Stop that screen. Let's bring in another screen.
You donate 10,000 Taiwan dollars, I will pass out on camera, bro. No context. I started fucking sweating. I was like, oh, 249. I gotta lock in.
All right, looking at it, this mock's going on right now. We got Woody in the 11th. We got Trey Benson in the 11th. We've got Wandale in the 9th, which I took Wandale a little early there just because I was low on the clock and at work. But I don't like Wandale on the 10th is fine. I think Wandale on the 10th is
that's great. It's incredible value, dude.
Wandale's still only 25.
I autoed and took Skylar Bell, and I almost like jumped out a plate glass window.
I think Tootin's a good shot here. I think that would be one of the picks for me.
We're aligned. Well, that's consensus. So Tootin is one of the guys.
I think I just took Tootin at 12-2 in this mock. So
yeah, like I definitely would have done that instead of fucking Otto and Skylar Bell there.
Yeah, I mean it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's we're mocking for ADP, so we like it to be good. But Woody Marks, I don't mind it, but I'm probably passing on that. Jalen Warren's probably a safe play there. I think Wandale's safe with upside. If I could get somebody like a Jaden Higgins there, that'd be cool. But like your build right now is Ladd, BTJ, Marv, Devonta. So you can for sure play Devonta most weeks, and then BTJ and Marv, you're going to be a little worried, fighting that demon for a minute of who's going to pan out right away that I want to start. So right now I'm do you want to play this for upside? Do you want to play it for playability, or you want to like a Sutton here as a wily veteran or a Pittman as a veteran that's like, all right, well, most weeks I can just roll with those guys and not have to worry about. And then when Marvin BTJ, like you're probably playing Marvin BTJ most weeks. But I guess my thought process there is sort of, can I get another safe guy that I can play if those guys are effing it up a little bit?
Right.
Golden for your situation right now, I probably would pass on just because you kind of already have some question marks there of like bunch of upside. So DJ Moore, I'm probably passing on that. I would say to me, it comes down to Wandale Pierce conversation. What's your final answer on the other pick here, Chev?
I mean, I landed right where you landed with Wandale and Pierce. Pierce started talking to me like the Green Goblin mask, like in best ball last year, and to pay that off was real cool. So I'd go with my feelings and go Pierce, even though Wandale's much safer. I think that there's heartell and rumors that we're gonna bring Wandale in the Titans as a free agent because his connections with Dayball. I think he goes somewhere, and plays a significant role as the slot receiver in the offense, like, you know, the Christian Kirk vibes, not nearly as I'm not even gonna say that. Wan'Dale's good. Wan'Dale's really good at football. So let's just do it. Let's just go. Let's fuck it. Let's just go Tootin and Wan'Dale.
I like it. I can finally answer that one with you there. I don't mind taking Tootin and Wan'Dale or Tootin and Pierce. Those would kind of be my thoughts there. I do like Benson too. But we just
don't know what to do.
Yeah, we got such a weird situation there that, like, the regime in Jacksonville has taken Tootin and he's looked good. He's been efficient, and you don't have a whole lot of money, so there is a stronger possibility that ET walks. So I just like the connecting the dots there for that. Yeah. If you wanted to take 2 running backs, I think I would probably take Tootin and Benson, but Tootin and Warren, I think, would be a solid 2 running back play there.
Yeah, that's my lean. Also, is I would lean Tootin and Warren, but then Benson is the mystery box, could be a boat. Like,
yeah,
that's the ultimate. Cause he's super athletic, man. It's just, and you've seen him be good at football just in very small samples, but that team sucks so much.
Yeah. All right. Well, that I mean, we were going to talk a little bit more about some stuff. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for chiming in there. You did have me a little sweaty on a 250 to start there. I was like, God damn, let me text me. let's do this together.
Yeah, bro, like, I said, hey, bro, my phone started vibrating and stuff. I was like, hey, hold on, wait a minute. I turn this shit off vibrate. Like, let me read this like 5 times so I don't give you the wrong. Like, that's some real belief.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's end with a few more. Appreciate you guys who hit us up with some money in the stream. That's always appreciated. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. We're gonna do a couple swipes on the way out here, but we'll be live every Wednesday, so make sure you come check it out. If you haven't checked out the FFDynasty.com, please do so. We're pretty excited about this tool. There's a bunch more stuff in the works that we're working on and troubleshooting. Again, all feedback is welcome. We know this thing isn't perfect. We know there's things to work out. But again, there's more and more being developed behind the scenes that we're super excited about. And we got rookie swipes, still a little wonky on those. Got to dial those in. Got to cut the field a little bit. But again, works in progress here. So Jordan Tyson or Nico Collins, Chev?
Wowzers. Give me Nico.
Where you stand on Jordan Tyson?
I like Jordan Tyson's the most talented receiver in the draft.
Because I saw my guy Angelo really talking some S about Jordan Tyson a little bit, which I didn't.
Okay, so
I wasn't buying into it.
No, I don't buy into it either. And it's rare that I just completely disagree with anything Angelo says, but I completely disagree. Not like I can't find what I'm saying is I can't find the nugget, the silver line, like, oh, I should really. It's like, no, I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah. I don't think I do either.
I think that Jordan, and you guys know Cornell Tate is my wide receiver 1, just because I feel like the profile is close, the talent and the profile are close enough to where Cornell Tate's ceiling might not be what Jordan Tyson's is, but it's not far off. And I don't have to worry about the injuries that he's dealt with. And he's more polished as a wide receiver. Jordan Tyson's the best athlete of the 3. Just in terms of moving in space, no, Tyson Bateman, absolutely not. No.
Well, we're saying that in revisionist history because there were.
Bateman was cooking though. Bateman was cooking. Bateman at Minnesota is more like Cornell Tate than he is Jordan Tyson.
Yeah. And Bateman went to a spot. Bateman got hurt. There was a lot of things that went wrong for Bateman, has had some success. I just I think Jordan Tyson, and listen, Angelo is a movement guy. That's kind of, I think that's what his job is, and we've had Angelo on the show. I respect his opinion for the most part,
for sure.
But
we all grown men though. We don't got to agree on everything.
yeah, no, I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I don't either.
So.
I don't either. I had a couple people DM me and be like, "Man, I don't know about Jordan." And I'm like, "Bro, here's the thing. If you watched him play just unencumbered, non-injured football, there would be no question about who the wide receiver one is."
That's kind of how I've come to the conclusion. Look, I'm slower at crowning all these guys of where I like them and being official about it. Because I do like to watch. I like to watch at different times. Watch a couple games, come back, watch that again, watch this again, and just kind of be like, all right, because you're in different moods. You feel different kind of ways about things at different times, right? What'd you say?
Oh, you take your time to form an educated opinion. Holy shit!
But just kind of leading into what I saw from Tyson, it's just like, man, I don't know. He's the like you said, if he wasn't injured, I don't even think we would. If he would have just completed those two full seasons for the most part, like I don't know that we would be talking about any other guy as the one.
Look, up until he got Sam Levitt got injured and then he got injured. He was going to be my wide receiver one, but I can't ignore the broken forearm or collarbone or whatever it was. Then the soft tissue injuries, then the ACL. Like there's a red flag the medical flag thing on his deal that just the talent gap isn't enough between him and Tate for me to just be like, yeah, I'll still take it. I'll still do it anyway. But in terms of the talent, the ability to move like with the ball in his hands, like creating after the catch, the athleticism, like he's probably gonna have like a 40-inch vertical. I don't know necessarily about like the straight line long speed, but the athleticism is just it's like it's breathtaking.
Yeah,
like it's really fun to watch him play football.
Yeah, I hate he disappeared here thing. It's like I can find all these guys that disappear somewhere. Bro, like, this guy locked them down. It's like, okay.
Yeah, somebody was arguing with me in the comments the other day about I watched the Notre Dame game and Leonard Moore, Mekhi Lemon struggled against Leonard Moore. And it's like, bro, Leonard Moore was a first team All-American as a true sophomore. He's 6'2", 200 pounds, and he won every single postseason accolade that you could possibly imagine. That is a Sunday guy if I have ever seen one.
Right.
And he's awesome. You don't walk away from the tape and be like, oh, I can't like Mekhi Lemon now. You just say, oh, shit, that dude's going to get paid a lot of money to play football. And he had a really good game against Mekhi Lemon.
Also, what if they play 3 times? What if Lemon cooks him one of those times? You know what I mean? It's just like you're judging it off of one time. There's good versus good. And it's like, hey, how good is your good in that particular? And maybe that's just the type of player that Lemon's going to struggle with in the league. Maybe the play calling wasn't right. Maybe they should have done this, that, or that. Maybe they should have aligned, I have no idea. I can't zoom in on that spot.
Let me answer that one, because I watched that game like 3 times because I was like, man, I really need to figure out if this is like hey, there's some real deficiencies. So I watched it like 3 times, and there were plays where Mekhi Lemon's getting open and he just doesn't get the ball.
Yeah.
So it's not like it was just a straight belt to ass situation. It's just the ball didn't come his way when Leonard Moore was on him. He still finished with 4 for 76.
And that could have just been quarterback goes, that guy's good, I'm not throwing towards him.
Correct. You got Jacoby Lane on the other side, and the tight end who's also
a better matchup.
I can't think of Lake McCree. They've got a tight end who's also really good, and they've got the run game between Waymon Jordan and the young kid. So they had options to go elsewhere, but he still had 4 for 76, and he got open. He just didn't get the ball when he got open. So please go back and watch the games. I'm sure somebody's done a cut up of it now, or it's all over Leonard Moore's highlight tape on YouTube. Like, just go watch the game, because it's a great battle, and it just tells you that Leonard Moore, for all you IDP sickos, is going to be a superstar in the NFL.
Yeah, and Captain says, talent and injury history matters. It's kind of it can matter. I think we do that. We label things too quickly for me. But I'm also somebody who looks at things in a longer term view in general. And he then follows it up with I personally love lemon. You're allowed to personally love lemon. It doesn't make Tyson any worse. I think that's my biggest problem with a lot of things that go on. It's like, well, I love it. Okay, that's fine. You can like, and you can put them here or here. It's okay. Like it's everyone's going to have different versions of kind of what it is. And in this juncture for these 3 wide receivers, and now all of a sudden, Casey Concepcion is being added to this because this is what happens every year. Enough bigger accounts with a lot of followers say that they like this guy. So now all of a sudden Casey Concepcion is being grouped into these guys, which, I don't think there's been, you could probably check the tape, but Casey Concepcion has been mentioned up there with a lot of excitement very early on in this process, but that's neither here nor there. With those 3 top guys that have been there, they all operate differently.
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course people are going to be, and then if you're a spreadsheet guy, you're going to like Lemon. And if you're a tape guy, you're going to like Tate. And I think, or Tyson, right? Yeah. Some people don't think Tate should be the one guy. Other people are convinced that he is the one, that's fine. That's all right. Maybe they're all great. I don't know. But anyway, finish your thought. We got a trade review and then we'll get out of here.
Again, you hit the nail on the head where my least favorite kind of discourse is where it's binary. It's I love Carnell Tate, so then I can't have any sort of appreciation for Jordan Tyson or Mekhi Lemon's talent.
Right.
I don't have Mekhi Lemon. I don't have Kevin Concepcion in tier 1. So obviously he's nowhere near as good as the consensus big 3 right now. That's not the way to discuss things, and it's not how you get better as a player. Like you can have an evaluation of like, hey, I like this, and I can tell you exactly what I like about each one of the players in depth. And it's just like, hey, this is my preference.
Yeah.
And if you look at it from a perspective of like, hey, I'm trying to learn as much as I can about these guys so that I can have an informed opinion, or like not, instead of just Casey said this is his wide receiver 1, Chev said this is his wide receiver, that's what I'm gonna do. Like you have so much more information and power at your disposal to move around and make these moves if you will just be open to saying, I like this guy the most, but there's also things that I like about that guy that I think could translate and be really good for my fantasy team.
Right. No, I'm with you. I like, I try to not take the negative approach. I try to take the positive approach of like, what do these guys do well? How does it fit into things? Because I think some of the negative stuff in college is taken out of perspective and blown out of proportion. To me, it's like, how good's your good? That's what I want to judge you on. And then, hey, what are the other attributes that you have that could take you this way or that way? And that's kind of how the rankings kind of bear out for me. So anyway, Kalen Williams, maybe. He says Superflex tight end premium got Bowers, gave Kenny Walker a 27 first, Theo Johnson, and the 209. Half point premium. Listen, you got to pay to play. I don't even think you paid that much for Bowers. He's the tight end 2, in my opinion. I think McBride at this point has earned to be the 1. But dude, that's a tier. That's an A tier 1 or 1. Take whichever one you like. Bowers is a little younger for sure. You're getting a Kubiak system over there. Like you're not losing by acquiring Bowers. You could give up 3 firsts and still not lose with Bowers in tight end premium, right? Yeah. And so I don't even think in doling out the value here that you did that. Theo Johnson's not worth the first, the 209, and Kenny Walker probably worth a first. But, right now, still value hasn't bounced back as high as I thought it would, as far as what we've been seeing. But it's also free agent period. If he reset, I think there's just some stuff up in the air. And I think once that settles in, people can then make the decision of, is Kenny Walker now a 3rd round startup draft pick, right? And at that point, maybe then you go, okay, well, that's a little sharper in the value side of things on, taking the Bauer side, but it's still Bauer side for me. It's just, that's just an asset that is has so much equity into it, and already proven that he can be the 1A, at worst 1B, right?
Yeah,
and if Mendoza goes there, awesome. You got Kubiak. We've already seen McBride do it any which way with whomever is back there, and so I feel very safe about that. But no, give me Bowers.
Yeah, I mean, this is somebody. I think it was Hayden or John, whichever the one is that does all the charts, did a cut up of basically Puka Nacua and Brock Bowers running the exact same routes, and that's only going to extrapolate and expand with an actual decent offensive mind in or not Oakland, Las Vegas now, with Brock Bowers at his disposal. So yeah, this is a dip. Like, again, you time the market wrong. You do this week 17 of 2024. You know, if your league doesn't have a trade deadline, that probably gets declined pretty easily.
Yeah, he's saying he has McBride and Bowers now. So
yeah.
And, in tight end premium, I have no problem with that. He says it's half point. That's cool. Both of those guys are going to score high-end wide receiver points with some decent volume. And what you've now done is you've taken the guy who has the best chance to match your tight end position out of the runnings, right? So now there's no more. So you have McBride, you could play the Bowers guy, and now that position might be potentially a wash. There's pretty much no other tight end right now that's going to wash out your tight end position, and you have two of them. So you have a lot of bargaining chips. You have a lot of bargaining power. You also have a flex play plus a ridiculous tight end.
Yes.
And two great assets moving forward. So I think that's a win-win-win. So I appreciate you, Captain. I appreciate you. Thanks for the love. Mucho Mullet. Love the show. Thanks. Appreciate you guys for all tuning in. We'll be back next Wednesday, talking maybe we'll do a draft next Wednesday. We're going to kind of keep switching it up. We'll do swipes. We'll do drafts. Just coming on here to kind of hang out, have a good time, BS, answer your questions, chop it up.
Hopefully not have to talk about Rashee Rice again.
I hope not. And hopefully, I don't like all this Casey Concepcion love that just kind of came out of left field.
Oh, bro, again, people just started watching the tape. And so there's going to be some really
one of the guys watching the tape stopped watching tape because he was bad at watching tape and switched to analytics. So be careful who you're watching tape from. Anyway, we'll see you next time.